Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. We are continuing with chapter 8 of the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We began the chapter 8 yesterday. Does anyone remember the main point of yesterday?
It was just that Prahlad Maharaj instructions were so powerful that all the Asur Putras converted into devotees, and now Shanda and Amarka were really in anxiety and fear, and they went to Hiranyakashipu and they informed that this is what is happening. And then he said, oh really? He was also in anxiety, and he said that, okay, um, I will look into this. And then um, he was really angry, and he wanted to kill his son, but Prahlad Maharaj kept his cool. He did not reacted in any way, and he folded his hands and stood before. And so like this was a quality of the and then there was this very important point that if you try to insult or a devotee, a pure devotee, then your age, all your auspiciousness, all your austerities, all your penance, and your age, it just gets diminished.
That's right.
So ultimately, it is our choice that Bhagavad Gita, whether you don't surrender to me right now or you surrender to me later, it's up to you. But ultimately, we have to surrender to Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj was a real Mahatma, and so if you surrender, then it's good. With faith, that was important. And then it's given you, and then you get the shelter. If you surrender, then in any condition, you are protected. Krishna protects you in any condition if you have complete faith and you surrender at the lotus feet. And then Prahlad Maharaj did that. He was a Mahatma, so he did that. And we should, and then Prabhupada is trying to explain and give us that we should follow that. Yeah, in one of the purports, that we are the part and parcel and depend on Krishna's mercy.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, because Hiranyakashipu also asked Prahlad, who's giving you so much power? You're just such a little boy. Everyone's afraid of me, and you're not afraid of me. Where are you getting your power from? And then Prahlad is like, I'm getting my power from the same person that you are getting your power from. Yeah, because we are all of us actually are dependent on Krishna. It's just it's just the devotees accept it, they recognize it. But we are like, no, I'm independent. I can do things by myself. So thank you for that. Reading on. Text 8. Sa Ishvara Kala Urukramasaf
Sarishtakala Urukrama Asoja
Oja Sahasatva Balendriyatma
Oja Sattva Balendriya Atma
Sa Eva Vishwam Parama Swashaktibihi
Sa Evidvam Paramaswasakti
Srajati Avati Atigunnatrayeshaha
Srijati Avati
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the supreme controller and time factor, is the power of the senses, the power of the mind, the power of the body, and the vital force of the senses. His influence is unlimited. He is the best of all living entities, the controller of the three modes of material nature. By his own power, he creates this cosmic manifestation, maintains it, and annihilates it also. Since the material world is being moved by the three material modes, and since the Lord is their master, The Lord can create, maintain, and destroy the material world. So here Prahlad Maharaj is speaking some truth about the position of the Lord. Now let's see. Now the Supreme Lord, he's saying, what are a few things that he's saying about the position of the Supreme Lord? Anyone?
He's the controller. He's
Yeah.
he's the time factor.
Yeah,
He's
Krishna
the
is the supreme controller. Time factor, time.
he's
Krishna
yeah.
says, time I am in Bhagavad Gita. Then,
He's saying he's the strength of senses, mind, body,
yeah, that's why he's
steadiness.
called Rishikesh, right? Power of the senses.
Yes.
He's the owner of the senses, so he's called Rishikesh, right?
Yeah.
Power of the body. Krishna says that all the ability comes from him. He's the strength of the strong. He says that in Bhagavad Gita. The vital force of the senses, you know. Our senses actually belong to him. Till the time Krishna is there with us in the body, we stay in the body. Yeah. Our life airs are also dependent on him. What else?
It's of the steadiness of the very self. Also, he's omnipresent
He's omnipresent.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the
he has
master
lots
of
of energy.
all the three energies, three gunas. Sorry, not the energy, three gunas.
Yeah.
He's
He's the
the
master,
the
master of the three gunas. That's
three
right.
gunas.
And he's the best of all living entities. Krishna is also a living entity. He's a supreme living entity. Purushottam. That's why he's called Purushottam, right? The
Yeah,
best.
and all the and
Mhm.
he creates the cosmic manifestation and then annihilates and maintains. That is
Yeah.
also his power.
Yeah. Just like a child. A child may take his Lego, he creates it. You know, child has his Lego, he'll make it, play with it for some time, and then he'll dismantle and keep it away. So
Mm.
the child creates a small Lego. Krishna creates this entire world because it belongs to him. Okay. Jahiya Asuram Bhava. Can you help me with this?
Jahan
Jahi asuram imam
manaha
Jahi Asuram Bhavam Imam Tvam Atmanaha.
jahi asuram
asuram bhava
imam
imam
samatmanaha
Samam Manodas Swanashanti Vid Vishaha.
samam no dharma
manodasvanashanti
svanti vidviti
vidvidasaha
Ite Jitad Atmana Utpate Sthitat.
Chitarat
atmana utpatti
atpati stita
Tadhi Anantasya Mahat Samarhanam.
taddihi anantasya mahat samarhanam.
Prahlad Maharaj continued, my dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised toward everyone. Except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind, there is no enemy within this world. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly. We can see this is repeatedly Prahlad Maharaj is saying it so many times because we are always saying, this is my friend, this is my enemy. And he's repeatedly been saying, don't discriminate. It's just our mind, our uncontrolled and misguided mind that makes us think this is my enemy, this is my friend. Unless one is able to fix the mind at the lotus feet of the Lord, the mind is impossible to control. So I remember reading in the third canto of Bhagavatam also it said that the mind can find its rest only at the lotus feet of the Lord. Otherwise, the mind is restless, will go here, go there, search for things. But for the mind to be peaceful is only when the mind can be fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. As Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita 6:34, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadritam tasyaham nigraham manye vayor iva sudushkaram. For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, it seems to me, is more difficult than controlling the wind. It's true, right? Or is it just me? The,
No, it's very true.
Yeah,
right?
it's true. Yeah, it's true. All of us.
How the mind makes us so crazy sometimes, really. Really, it's so crazy. When Prabhupada would say, when the mind is disturbed, just go and chant. Just chant and chant and chant until the time you can quiet it down. But sometimes the mind is so disturbed that can't even chant. But that's the time we need it the most. That's the, the test. The only
It's
bona fide.
powerful, but
I'm sorry.
it's a it's a very powerful way. Like what we
Yeah,
have heard people saying, that when your mind is disturbed or when you are feeling sad, fear, anything, just go and chant, and your mind really gets settled. It comes into that peace mode. It's ready to accept and listen and think in a different way.
it's so
So
true.
it's a really powerful thing. It is not just
Yeah.
for saying, but if we practice, because
Mm.
we got the knowledge that this is the way that we should, deal with the mind when it's an anxiety or something is not going right or we are angry. And then we need to practice it. That's what even Prabhupada says, that you knowledge and practice. So I think, yes, it is a very, very powerful way. Though we might think that it does not work, it's so simple. How can chanting help? But it is very powerful, and it does, because I have experienced in my case a lot of times when sometimes you're sad or anything, if there's fear, there is sadness, there's angry, anything, just chant. And it
But when it's restless, it's a bit.
Yeah.
but still
When it's
also
restless. So you know what
Yeah, like
helps? Actually,
sad and all that, okay. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I have come little bit, it helped me when it's restless and really can't chant because it's just too restless, right? Can't hear
Yeah.
also, not able to hear, not able to read also because can't focus on
Unable to
anything.
concentrate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's happened. Then what actually helps? Just pray. Praying
mm,
at that moment helps me. Just pray to
So,
Krishna. Krishna, I'm going crazy. My mind is going crazy.
okay.
Just talk to Krishna at that time. And that really helps. Because it's true. Because even when mind is so restless, not able to chant, not able to read, not able to hear, no nothing. Just just talk to Krishna. Plead to him, please help me.
Plead. Yeah. I think that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really helps. Just really beg to Krishna, please help me. And that helps. Yeah. So reading, the only bona fide process for controlling the mind is to fix the mind by service to the Lord. We create enemies and friends according to the dictation of the mind, but actually there are no enemies and friends. Pandita samadarshanaha samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. To understand, this is the preliminary condition for entering into the kingdom of devotional service. So why is it said actually there are no enemies and friends? We are seeing somebody is good to me, somebody is bad to me. So this is my friend, this is my enemy. So how can we understand this? There are no enemies and friends.
Because the Lord is situated, right, in everyone's heart. It's
Lord is
Paramatma.
situated. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we are the part and parcel of Krishna.
Yeah, part and
We are
parcel.
also,
Yeah. Part and parcel of Krishna. Yeah. What else?
and we think it, and all this is at the level of body. We are in the ignorance. So that's why we
It's on the body. Yeah. We are in ignorance. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
and we are directing, we get the directions from our mind. Our mind is directing us that, oh, he's my friend, he's my enemy.
Yeah, that's
Modes of
true.
nature.
Modes of
Because in
nature.
reality,
That's what I was, yeah. It's all the
Yes,
action of the modes of nature,
that's a
you know?
nature.
Yeah.
mm,
But all of them, yeah. Paramatma is in the heart. We are all spirit souls. We are all part and parcel. And even though we are all part and parcel of Krishna, we are all spirit souls. By the influence of
mm,
modes of nature, we are acting like this, you know, and the other person is also acting like that. So it's not that the soul is our enemy or friend, it's just an action of the modes of nature, that somebody's acting some way, sometime, and another way, another time. So I guess we just have to remind ourselves more and more of this, you know, as Prabhupada would say, Guru Maharaj says, see through the eyes of the scripture, you know, become Shastra Chakshusha, seeing through the eyes of the scripture. So we are not able to realize it. But if we somehow the other can remind ourselves this point when we are in a situation, then it can give us some kind of a relief. And then gradually we can build on to that. Because Prahlad Maharaj, he continuously, many times he said the same thing now. Huh? Don't think as friends and enemies. Dasyun purasan avijitya lumpato
the
Purashanahana vijitya lumpato
manyanta eke swajita disho dasha
manyanta
Eki
eke
swajita
svajita
disho
dishodasha
dasha.
jitatmanujikya sasamasya dehinam
Jitatmanodya devasya dehina.
sadho swamoha prabhava kute pare.
Sadhoha
Sadhu
swamoha prabhavaha kutah pare.
In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipoised toward all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. So in this material world, everyone thinks that he has conquered his enemies, not understanding that his enemies, what are actually the enemies? The uncontrolled mind and the 5 senses. Manasastani, indriyani, prakritistani, karshati. So these are the enemies. The mind, uncontrolled mind, and 5 senses in this material world. Everyone has become a servant of the senses. Originally, everyone is a servant of Krishna, but in ignorance one forgets this, and thus one is engaged in the service of Maya through lusty desires, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy. These are the 6 things that's there in our heart. You know, that as we say, the sons of Devki, they signify the 6 sons who were killed by Kans. Lust, greed, anger, envy, madness, and illusion. Madness is like pride. So these are our enemies actually. And then because of that, we are not able to control our mind and our senses. And we continue in this material world. So see, we are actually servant. We say, no, Krishna, I don't want to serve you. And then here we become servant of our mind, servant of our senses, servant of our lust and greed and anger. Yeah. So, of course, again, Krishna leaves the choice to us, but he gives us this good instruction through Bhagavad Gita, through Srimad Bhagavatam, for us to help us correct our behavior. Everyone is actually dependent on the reactions of material laws, but still one thinks himself independent and thinks that he has conquered all directions. It's true, right? We think, there's so many people I can control. Yeah, everything's happening under me. But actually, what's happening is all law of karma. How we have acted before, that's what we are getting now. How we are acting now, we are going to get future. And how we are acting now is based on our desire, what we are thinking. Based on that, we are acting. And all this is in our ignorance. We are thinking we are the body. So we keep doing things in terms of the body. In conclusion, one who thinks that he has many enemies is an ignorant man, whereas one who is in Krishna consciousness knows that there are no enemies, but those within oneself, the uncontrolled mind and senses. So these are our real enemies. What are our real enemies?
Mind, uncontrolled mind, and the senses.
Yeah, yeah. And
And does it mean that when you engage in the service of Maya, so then these anarths come,
yeah,
automatically come,
yeah,
is it?
yeah, yes, yeah. Because it begins with our desire, right? Our lusty desire. When our desire is fulfilled, we get greedy. We want more. When it's not fulfilled, we get angry, right?
Mm,
When our desire is fulfilled, we say, oh, I want more of it. Or when
yeah,
it's not fulfilled, we get frustrated, right? Frustrated, so
frustrated.
anger.
Yes.
When it's
Yeah.
fulfilled, then we get greedy. Then what happens? We get more into illusion. We start thinking more, I'm the body, I'm the body. And pride, madness. We completely forget ourselves. And in that pride, the way we behave, and we get envy of others that everything should be for me. Nobody else should have anything. Everything should be in my control. And what I'm willing to give others, that only that much they should have. So this is what happens to us.
Mm.
So we need to constantly chant to to help us get rid of these things. Hear about Krishna from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha
Shri
Shri
Hiranyakashipur
Kashipu
Uvacha
Uvacha
Vyaktam Tvam Martu Kamosi
Vyaktam
Vyaktam
Tvam
Tvam
Martukamosi
Martukamoshi
Yotimatram Vikathase Vikathase
Yoti
Yotimatam
Matram
Vikatase
Vikatase
Mumurshunam Hi Mandatman
Shanam Hi Mandatman
Atman
Nanusyur Viklava Giraha.
Nanu Surviklava Kriraha.
Hiranyakashipu replied, You rascal, you are trying to minimize my value as if you were better than me at controlling the senses. This is overintelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands. But this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged in by those about to die. It is said in Hitopdesha, Upadesho hi Murkhanam Prakopaya na Shantaye. If good instructions are given to a foolish person, he does not take advantage of them, but becomes more and more angry. So this is what there's a Hitopdesha is saying that. Sometimes happens, right? We may try to give Krishna consciousness to somebody, but then they get more angry at us. What are you trying to say? So Prahlad Maharaj's authorized instructions to his father were not accepted by Hiranyakashipu as truth. Instead, Hiranyakashipu became increasingly angry at his son, who was a pure devotee. This kind of difficulty always exists when a devotee preaches Krishna consciousness to persons like Hiranyakashipu who are interested in money and women. The word Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu refers to cushions or good bedding. So Hiranyakashipu. So there may be somewhere small Hiranyakashipu inside us also, you know. We may be tiny Hiranyakashipus also. So moreover, a father does not like to be instructed by his son, especially if the father is a demon. Prahlad Maharaj's Vaishnav preaching to his demoniac father was indirectly effective, but because of Hiranyakashipu's excessive jealousy of Krishna and his devotee, he was inviting Nṛsiṁhadeva to kill him very quickly. Thus, he was expediting his being killed by the Lord himself. So here Prabhupada is explaining like this. Prahlad Maharaj preached to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu got angry. In a way, it was good because now Nṛsiṁhadeva is going to come to kill him, which is good for Hiranyakashipu himself. He's going to get liberated. Because who can get killed by the Lord? You have to be with somebody great to be killed by the Lord. Although Hiranyakashipu was a demon, he's described here by the added word Shri. Why? The answer is that fortunately he had such a great devotee son as Prahlad Maharaj. Thus, although he was a demon, he would attain salvation and return home back to Godhead. So this is the best gift we can give to our family members, that if we can become a devotee, then Krishna takes account of that. You know, that's the best way we can help the people we love, that we ourselves become a devotee and they will be getting the blessing. Some way or the other, Krishna will protect them too, to whatever degree, you know. So let's see, how long is this? This is a little long. Did anyone have any comments?
Yeah, this is beautiful, I mean, he's a pure devotee, and everyone who associates with him, they are all blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how his friends also became devotees now, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he kept calling them sons of demons, but now they became Vaishnavas, we read yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
And his
association.
father is not, and his father is not ready to accept.
Yeah, just see. Yeah,
Yeah,
just see, the father is
that's it.
thinking, oh, it's true, but sometimes it's difficult for the father to accept from their children. If the children is giving good instruction to the father may say, hey, who are you? I know more than you. What do you mean by trying
Yeah.
to preach to me? It happens so many times. Mm, yeah. But yeah, we can actually pray to Prahlad Maharaj. He has such amazing qualities. He's so tolerant, he's so steady, he has such firm faith, such firm faith. And he's so equanimity. He's so much, he's keeping on saying nobody's your friend, nobody's your enemy, it's just in your own mind. So we can really pray to Prahlad Maharaj so that we can also have like kind of a drop of these wonderful qualities that he has.
Mhm.
So,
The other day when you were reading the introduction of chapter 8,
mhm,
and we are going to read about how Nṛsiṁhadev came from the column, half man, half lion. And I was thinking that why did he take this form? So obviously uh, clear, because it resembles what Prahlad Maharaj is. It's like he's so brave. He's so brave, and this is the form that Krishna could give, just a brave
mhm.
lion, courageous lion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice, nice,
yeah.
very nice. Thank you.
It's very difficult to stand, the bullies. So you
Yeah,
have to be,
oh,
yeah, it's very difficult, very
really,
difficult.
really not
Yeah,
easy. So
no.
all we can do is we need to really pray for strength. Yeah, from
Yes,
great
yes,
devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, from Srila Prabhupada, to
yes.
give us the strength. Because what strength do we have? What faith do we have to stand
So
in the
true.
face of adversities? Little adversity comes and we are like, okay, okay. So we can pray to these great personalities.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you all so much. Srimad
Thank you.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur
Jai.
Bhaktavinda ki jai.